Welcome to my YouTube channel Made in My GK. Let's get into the literature quiz part 2. Whose autobiography is The Last Enemy? The answer is Richard Hillary. What is the name of the book of collection of poems written by Rudyard Kipling during his childhood? The answer is Schoolboy Lyrics. Who is the writer who rejected his 1964 Nobel Prize for Literature? The answer is Jean-Paul Sartre. Which science fiction novel was published based on the increase of population in 1968? The answer is Stand on Zanzibar. Who is the merchant in William Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice? The answer is Antonio. Who wrote the novel Dr. Zhivago? The answer is Boris Pasternak. Who wrote the work Utopia? The answer is Thomas Moore. Which drama of George Bernard Shaw was based on Joan of Arc? The answer is Saint Joan. Who wrote the book Das Kapital? The answer is Karl Marx. Who is the writer of the book The Wealth of Nations? The answer is Adam Smith. Who wrote the Twilight novel series? The answer is Stephenie Meyer. Which children character was created by Carlo Collodi? The answer is Pinocchio. Who wrote The Hunchback of Notre Dame? The answer is Victor Hugo. Who wrote the book A Brief History of Time? The answer is Stephen Hawking. Which American president's work is Ranch Life and the Hunting Trail? The answer is Theodore Roosevelt. How many lines does a Japanese haiku poem has? The answer is 3. Which writer's words are united we stand, divided we fall? The answer is Aesop. Who wrote the adventurous novel Treasure Island? The answer is Robert Louis Stevenson. What's the full name of Shakespeare's novel Othello? The answer is Othello, the Moor of Venice. Who created the character Peter Pan? The answer is J.M. Barrie. Who wrote the novel Black Beauty? The answer is Anna Sewell. In which imaginary town does Tom Sawyer lives? The answer is St. Petersburg. What is the name given for enjoying smell of old books? The answer is bibliosmia. Who wrote the fantasy novel The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe? The answer is C.S. Lewis. What is the name of the ship in the novel Moby Dick? The answer is Pequod. What is the name of protagonist of Charles Dickens' novel A Christmas Carol? The answer is Ebenezer Scrooge. Which children's book has the character Mother Raksha? The answer is Jungle Book. Who wrote the novel Gone with the Wind? The answer is Margaret Mitchell. Who is the leader of bad powers in The Lord of Rings? The answer is Sauron. Who wrote the poem The Lady of the Lake? The answer is Sir Walter Scott. Who wrote the children's work Where the Wild Things Are? The answer is Maurice Sendak. Where does the crime novel The Big Sleep sets off? The answer is Los Angeles, California. Which war is the background for Ernest Hemingway's novel For Whom the Bell Tolls? The answer is Spanish Civil War. Which is the first epic poem of English literature? The answer is Beowulf. Which are the writers to get both Oscar and Nobel Prize? The answer is Bob Dylan and George Bernard Shaw. Who is the first person to translate Kalidasa's Shakuntalam into English? The answer is William Jones. Who is the first person to translate Omar Khayyam's Rubaiyat into English? The answer is Edward Fitzgerald. Who wrote the novel 100 Years of Solitude? The answer is Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Who is known as Shakespeare of China? The answer is Cao Yu. Who wrote the novel Things Fall Apart? The answer is CHINUA ACHEBE.